Hey guys, it's Oberstadt. So I was actually thinking about doing some St. Patrick's Day looks, and because I am 16% Irish and 9% Scottish, I figured I would compile all of my palettes or any eyeshadows that I have that are green. And so I'm going to be swatching all of these green shadows, and I wanted to see which ones were going to be closer to the colors of like the Irish flag, and I wanted to see which ones would probably work out best. And this will also give you an idea of what green shades I own, and I'm going to go ahead and get into this video. Hopefully you like this, and I'm going to be using my Always Off cleansing cloth in order to remove any swatches off my fingers. I do only have half of it wet, and I need to wash this one, but I'm just going to be wiping swatches off on my fingers, so I'm not worried about how dirty it is right now, but I only have half of it wet. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the swatches. Now, some of these palettes, like this one here and this one here, are rather old, so I'm not quite sure how the pigmentation is going to be on them. This palette is from like 1997. I bought this one in the 2000s, and then everything else that's in this stack is from 2018 and later. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to go and get into the swatches. So I figured I would start with this CoverGirl. This is a True Naked Dazed in just the True Naked Dazed palette, and it only has one green on it. So I'm going to go ahead and run my finger through it a couple of times. Oh. And it's like a green with like a yellow and gold shift to it. So this will be pretty. The Maybelline Eye Studio. This is rather old. This is in Forest Fury. All of these shades are supposed to be shades of green. So this is this one here. Then we have the like lime green color. And then we have the one opposite that, which is very similar to the first shade. And then we have this one down here that's kind of like a white with green, a green shift to it. I'm going to go ahead and try and pick up more of this green here. And this one barely shows up on my skin. Now this is my oldest palette. This is from Lady Bird, and it only has like this like turquoisey color in it and olive. And this palette is so beat up. It's got a lot of brown in it, this olive shade. And like I said, this palette, I bought it in 1997, and Lady Bird is a private label company. So those are the greens that we have so far out of 3 different palettes. Now this palette is new to me. I did sanitize it the other day. This came from my friend Nicola Walker. It has a couple of greens in it. We have this one up here, and I haven't used this on my eyes yet. I did a patch test to make sure I wouldn't be allergic. So we have the one that just it says green, which kind of looks more like a teal. And then the other one that says green, that kind of looks like a sage green. And that pan is not stuck in the palette. Kind of more like a yellowy green, a very pastel yellow green. And then this one is just not as good as I thought it would be. Now getting into some of my beloved Zodiac palettes. There's like 2 shimmers in here. We have the Aries, it's like a bluish green, and then we have Sagittarius, which is more like an emerald or a jewel tone green. So we have this Aries shade, which is kind of like a shimmer shade version of this. And then this is Sagittarius. This is similar to this one, but this one definitely has like a yellow gold shift to it, where this one is just green. It's neat to see all of them together to see how similar some of the shades are that I have. I just got looking at it closer. I'm going to go ahead and grab this Capricorn shade here. It kind of looks like an olive green. I'm going to add that to the mix. Actually, it looks a lot more brown. Kind of looks similar to this. It looks kind of olive in the pan when you look at it. So those are the shades on the Zodiac palette, those 3. Now into the Love Signs one from BH Cosmetics, and this one kind of has like this green here, and that's really the only shade that I think that is kind of green in the palette, and it's more like a teal. And this is the matte shade from Aquarius. It's kind of got a hint of like forest green in it. I'll pick up just a smidge more. Okay, now onto the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This one has a few greens in it. It has these 4, those are more like turquoise, so I'm going to avoid those. I'm going to be working with these, which are Diva and Enchanted. And then I'm going to have to switch arms. So here's Diva. And then this one is Enchanted. Almost looks black. So there's one arm done. So thankfully I don't have a whole lot of greens left because I ran out of arm space. This is the James Charles Morphe palette, and this one only has a couple of greens in it as well. It's got this one, which is Social Blade, Daddy, and Guac. So there's Social Blade, which is actually a really good color for the Irish flag. Then we have Daddy, which is kind of like a darker green, and then we have Guac. Oop. And there's both arms so far. And then last we have my single shadows, and a couple of these are Morphe, like this one here is a Morphe shadow, I believe. This is Aloha from Morphe. Let me move a few of these down. This one is Bam from Morphe. This one is a single shadow that I got from an Ipsy Glam bag. So starting with the greens here, these are all from Lady Bird. And some of these are like 5 to 10 years old. And then grab these. It's another one that would be good for the Irish flag. I'll be doing one of these videos for the orange shades as well, because the flag is, you know, white, green, and orange. That Morphe shade here, Aloha, is kind of more like a, it's got blue in it. And this one, I'll have to put the name of this one on the screen. This one's a Lounge from Urban Decay. It's like green with maroon in it, and then I'll grab the Morphe one here. Yeah, that definitely doesn't come off its green on camera. I can see the green in it in person, but it doesn't really translate very well. So there are all the shades there from like the James Charles palette, and then whatever singles that I own. And then here are both arms together. You can see all the different varying shades of green that I've got. I think this green, this green, and possibly this green will work really well for the Irish flag, just for the simple fact that it's kind of more like a yellow green. And then I was thinking I would do like a shamrock or something along that line. So some of these, like this richer green here, this one that's got shimmer in it, one of these two would probably work really good to do the base for the shamrock and then do some defining work with something like this. But these are all the varying shades of like green hued eyeshadows that I do currently own in single and in palette form. I have a pretty good variety of different shades. There's only like a couple, like these two are similar, these two, this one and this one are similar. This one here is a little bit more blue version of this one, but for the most part, all my shades are very different. And I do have an order coming in probably this week from BH Cosmetics with the Pisces palettes, so I will have more green shades then. And I ordered the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. So hopefully this video was helpful in showing you some of the palettes that you may have, or showing you some of the single shadows that you may have in your collection in order to do like a St. Patrick's Day look if you are looking to do that, and some of the varying shades of green that are in each of the palettes that I currently own. If you like this video, then go ahead and leave it a like. Comment down below how many green shadows that you have, and I will see you guys in another video.